Hi, it's Anne-Marie Cross, the podcasting queen, helping clients go from invisible to influential with a podcast. If I look back 10 years ago in August, I started my very first podcast, and that was Career Success Radio. And I started that with a co host because of the doom and gloom being portrayed by all the traditional media when the global financial crisis hit. And we knew we needed to be the voice of hope and inspiration amongst the doom and gloom. So 2 years we did that podcast, and I had no idea back then that 10 years on I would be doing podcasting full time, helping people set up and publish their own podcasts, and having met incredible guests from all over the world. And it really aligns with my why and my purpose and mission, which is to change the world one message at a time. And everyone that comes on my show has been able to support me in fulfilling my mission through them sharing their expertise and their message. So, what about you? You might have been following me for a while here on LinkedIn, or maybe you've got a message that you want to share with the world and have been thinking about doing a podcast, yet haven't yet because you're not sure about the technology. You're certainly not an expert in audio production, and the thought of having to really get out there on social media and continue to promote your podcast is something that you may not even have the bandwidth for and the time in your business. Well, my team and I have come up with a solution that ticks all of the boxes. So imagine if you have an ongoing podcast show which you record, you interview guests from all over the world, so you're building your connections and your network, and then you take that raw audio and you give it to us. We will post produce it, we will publish it, and we will promote it for you, freeing up your time to just do what you do best, which is sharing your expertise and working with clients. So if that sounds like you, if you're ready to up level, take your message to the next level in a podcast, you want your hand held the whole time, working closely with me, overseeing that, working closely, mapping out what I call your podcast profit pipeline, so that you can continue to not only build your reach, build engagement, but your leads, your list, and ultimately clients. This could be a solution for you. And so if this sounds like you, let's have a chat. If you want to get a podcast and you're kind of the do-it-yourself person, we've got a solution for you as well with my Podcasting with Purpose program, online training, even interviewing with purposed online training for those of you who are podcasting yet not really confident in the way you relate to your guests, how you manage the call so that you can ensure that every single podcast you record, you're able to publish. I mean, if I think back to some of the very first podcasts I recorded and I listen back to them, it's cringe worthy. But I've certainly learned a lot over the last 10 years and have packaged that all up into these programs. Right through, if you want to have a podcast series and not necessarily an ongoing podcast, then I can help you create a series where maybe a 3-part, which works really well for a lot of my clients. We have a 3-part series which you continue to use to build engagement and of course your list, and ultimately nurture those into leads. Then let's have a chat as well. So what I'll do is I'll put a link down below here in the comment section that will get you onto my calendar. We'll have a chat, we'll see where you're at in your business and to see which solution is best for you, so that you can start to make a difference in the world with your message, one podcast episode at a time.